Hello everyone and welcome to another best of 3 in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 1 group stage. Still in Group A, and this time we're gonna watch a Night Elf against Undead matchup. And the player spawning here in the top left spawn position in yellow is the Swedish Night Elf player SaSe, who lost his first best of 3 against Firestrike. I'm guessing kinda surprisingly, because SaSe is definitely more of a household name than Firestrike is. And he's gonna start with a Moonwell and with an early Ancient of War, so a Tavern Hero built by him. And when we think about old-fashioned Night Elf against Undead, and we see a Tavern Hero built by the Night Elf, I guess the first two heroes that come to mind are always the Beastmaster and the Dark Ranger, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on what SaSe's first hero choice is gonna be. I guess there's a couple of options. And his opponent, spawning in the bottom right spawn position in red, is the Czech Undead player Giacomo, who won his first best of 3 against another Night Elf, against a Night Wolf. And in that best of 3 against Night Wolf, Night Wolf played the Dark Ranger first 3 times, and while he was able to beat Giacomo with it on map 1, which was Turtle Rock, Giacomo was able to overcome that style on map 2 and map 3. And on map 1 you could argue that he lost mostly because he went for a very greedy tier 2 expansion, which didn't work out at all and which was punished properly by Nightwolf. But still, of course, in a standard game, in a more ordinary game, he showed that he's able to overcome that. So we'll see what the first hero of SaSe is going to be. First archer is out, second archer is being produced right now, not heading towards the tavern with the archers, so it looks like he's gonna wanna start creeping as quickly as possible. By the way, ghoul build order by Giacomo, not at all surprising, of course. DK is about to come out, a couple of ghouls are out already as well, and SaSe even starts creeping with only 2 archers. I mean, you can get 3, then you can start creeping around the time your hero arrives, or you can get 2 and start creeping very early on. And it's actually the Alchemist first by SaSe, so I guess I didn't see that coming. So SaSe maybe thinking out of the box here, getting a second Ancient of War here very quickly, so we're gonna see a lot of creeping here by him. A very quick level 3 is probably what he's gonna wanna aim for. Lightning Shield goes on the archer, so he's gonna creep those apprentice wizards a little bit more quickly, and almost doing the last hit here with the Ancient of War, but he's paying attention. Claws attack plus 6 for SaSe, whereas Giacomo is only using 2 ghouls here. Grabbed only the little wizard apprentice camp first, and then the next screen camp, so very economically minded early game by him here. Getting cannibalized, that's interesting. And now not getting another Acolyte. I mean, he's got a scout up here, but so far he's also not taking.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Not quite sure. He's going for the creep here anyways. Getting Belt of Giant Strength. The Detonate gets 3 Wisps killed for SaSe. In the meantime, the Alchemist, already level 2.5, found Slippers of Agility, Mantle of Intelligence, and the Claws, as previously mentioned. Of course, the Claws, very good for him, as later on he's gonna have a huge attack speed with the Chemical Rage. And it looks like SaSe, after scouting this here, he wanted to be absolutely sure that there was no fast expansion. So far that's not the case, and the attack has already started for Giacomo. Whereas SaSe still hasn't tagged yet. Got 5 archers out already, a 6th one in production. So wow, he's relying a lot on those archers early on, so he's gonna have to make them worthwhile. The DK, of course, wants to get the last hit here in order to get level 3. And SaSe, of course, wants to prevent that from happening very close, but the coil is enough to finish the creep, and therefore level 3 for both of the players' first heroes, Alchemist as well as DK. I'm assuming the DK is gonna go for the coil level 2, and the Alchemist probably the acid bomb. And okay, there's the tech. I was just wondering whether he had something completely crazy in mind. By the way, Scout has been put down here again after detonating the first one, so Giacomo is going to be seen in case he tries to go for an expansion eventually. But for now it's gonna be gargoyles, as it seems. Second crypt coming, graveyard coming, tier 2 more than halfway done. The DK actually hiding here. So of course with the skeletons he sees the majority of archers is in the main base right now, and now he's moving out. It looks like SaSe is not aware of the DK's position though. And the Acolyte now heading down actually. And SaSe, is he aware of that? Not quite sure. But for now the DK is following the Nightlife army, and this might be painful for these archers because level 2 coil is a huge pain, and without the mana burn it's really hard to deal with that one that early on. And as you can see, the first archer is already going down. Not a big surprise. Actually no dust, so he could just hide here if he wanted to. He needs like one more, never mind, he's level 3 of course. Therefore the coil is dealing enough damage. In return, Acid Bomb, which is level 2, is doing a bit of damage as well as a couple of archer hits, but the DK still surviving very easily. Tier 2 has just finished. Lich coming second immediately, as well as 2 gargoyles. So Giacomo not going for a very greedy or very quick tier 3 take. I mean, it's not that greedy. I mean, you can do a lot of tier 2, but it's not like you're gonna, you know, get crushed on early tier 2 if you don't decide to go into heavy gargoyle production immediately. Actually nice thinking here by SaSe, moving that wisp away, because a level 2 coil, which would just be available, could have killed it. Therefore the DK didn't see it, and therefore the wisp survived. Lich soon to be out. In the meantime, still no tier 2 for SaSe, so that one was very late, and he's going for a very early second Tree of Life here inside of his base, as well as a Shredder, as well as the Hunter's Hall, which might be a wee bit late, maybe like 5 seconds or so. But still, SaSe is so far doing a pretty decent job with the Alchemist, also always keeping track of where the undead army is, and Sacrificial Skull actually, as well as a heal potion for the DK by Giacomo, and he's gonna move towards his expansion as it appears. He is building an Acolyte, so he's gonna go for that expansion, which is gonna be seen by the Wisp though. So SaSe is gonna be aware of that very quickly. You bring the Wisp out here. Wow, what a perfect detonate, taking down the entire Blight, and therefore, let's see, the Acolyte is still moving out. Therefore, he's gonna have to build the Haunted Gold Mine, maybe a Necropolis as well. We'll see about that before the Blight appears again, before he can start producing towers. So that's gonna win SaSe some time to do more harassment with the Alchemist if he wants to. First 2 gargoyles are around. I mean, as long as the archers are outside of the base, those might be good against the tier 2 buildings. But with that number of archers there, lightning shield actually going onto those. It looks like the Ancient of War is gonna fall. With that number of archers there, I'm not sure how much damage the gargoyles are actually gonna be able to do against the lores. Yeah, it's 2 Ancients of Lore. Because he doesn't want to get those caught off guard. The first one is actually not going to fall apparently. No, Nova comes in too late. All the archers are reaching the first moonwell. One of them is going down. Tree of Life being uprooted here to make some room for the archers. Second archer is going down, but all of the ghouls as well as the gargoyles are already low HP. Acid Bomb is going to take down at least one more of them. I guess Chemical Rage is probably on cooldown. And this Alchemist very greedy here, actually chasing after the low HP undead units. So he can maybe take down the gargoyle. No, he's too slow. Second Ancient of War as well as the Tree of Life are heading towards the expansion now as it appears. Of course, the Alchemist wants to finish that stuff off. And Ancient Protector actually coming here by SaSe in front of Giacomo's natural expansion. So Giacomo, he's going tier 3 this time. Okay, so he's not going to you know, go all greedy on that tier 2 expansion. It cost him almost no resources. All it cost him was 1 Sacrificial Skull, so that's a good trade actually for 1 Wisp kill. So nothing lost for either of the players here. DK taking plenty of damage, 2 more archers going down as well though, which is definitely not what SaSe wants, but in return forcing the town portal, in return losing 1 more Dryad as well. But now he's gonna be able to creep the rest of this expansion. I mean, how many gargoyles are remaining? 3? Yeah, 3 gargoyles. They aren't gonna be able to do anything against the Alchemist and the Dryads. They would die very, very quickly if they tried to. Ancient Protector has finished. In the meantime, he just has to eat a tree and quickly uproot, because he's gonna take so much more damage as long as he's in, you know, heavy armor shape. And as you can see, it's going down very, very quickly. He didn't pay attention there quickly enough. Now uprooting again, but it's almost dead already. I guess the damage output should be enough here. And yeah, it rather easily is. Still, SaSe is gonna have his expansion starting to run in just a couple of seconds, getting through more or less untouched. I mean, the trade was fairly equal. I feel like SaSe lost a few more of these archers he invested in early on, but in return he forced the town portal, he had the Death Knight low HP, he had all the units low HP basically, so that's fine since it took away all the potential of Giacomo to get aggressive. And right now the Entangled Goldmine is already up, so he's not gonna be able to cancel that with the gargoyles. All he can do is cancel like Ancient Protectors and stuff, which might be produced right now. There's only one Wisp necessary to fill this expansion. Okay, the second one actually heading back. And there's the Panda second. Let's see if he's gonna creep that one solo. I'm guessing he might do so. Expects the tier 2 expansion, or tier 3 as he's already is. Anyway, expects the expansion probably, but I'm assuming Giacomo's gonna wanna invest into an orb and the upgrades as we just saw, Stone Form as well as School Frenzy first. But he's getting another Sacrificial Skull as well before getting the orb. That's a bit surprising to me since, you know, the orb makes such a huge difference, especially given the number of gargoyles that are already out, and that would benefit a lot from the orb because their focus fire would get so much stronger. So Panda, yeah, only got a wee bit of XP. Shouldn't really make too much of a difference. First 2 towers coming, another reveal by SaSe, so he knows that now the expansion is coming, so he's not gonna wanna sit back and creep his Panda as it seems. Ancient of War is already waiting in front of the mercenary camp. So gargoyles are flying in. Breath of Fire did probably go in as well as Acid Bomb, and the gargoyles are taking so much damage by the focus fire. First Dryad has also fallen already, another Breath of Fire coming in, actually not hitting too well, but still the number of gargoyles is rather low. On the other hand, on the ground there are still plenty of goods and skeletons available. Finally Mass Dispel coming in, but it looks like it's gonna be enough for Giacomo to stay in the game, at least for now. Nova going on to the Panda. TP has been passed already. Let's see if one more ghoul is going down. That's the case here. But other than that, pretty decent hold by Giacomo. First Spirit Tower being upgraded. Second one, or the Rubin Tower, is going to come soon as well. But the expansion for SaSe has been running for quite a while already right now. And as we can see, he's got an advantage of more than 10 supply, producing Dryads as quickly as he can, getting upgrades as well. He's at 2-0, getting 2-1 right now. Panda 2.5. Maybe he should keep the Alchemist away here in order to get level 3 on the Panda. Then again, level 5 Alchemist also isn't too bad. On the other hand, level 4 almost DK and level 2.5 Lich. Still no orb for him, which still surprises me. But of course Giacomo at this point has pretty little resources to spend. By the way, yeah, perfectly managed by SaSe, getting exactly level 3 on the Panda. Yeah, I mean, Giacomo has very little resources to spend, and well, looking at the supply difference, it's 64 against 33. I'm not sure how far those two guard towers, those two spirit towers are gonna get him. Now he bought the orb, and he doesn't have a single heal scroll or anything, so that's gonna be a tough hold here for him. And a third Ancient of War already for SaSe. Also no upgrades on the gargoyles yet. Sepper got killed by the DK here with a coil apparently. So at least that's going into Giacomo's favor here. Gargoyle is moving out, the Dryad is being pulled back pretty nicely. And that's already costing Giacomo all of his gargoyles. It's the Lich and the Death Knight as well as 2 Spirit Towers. Why am I saying guard towers all the time? As well as 2 Spirit Towers remaining against the Night Elf force of 68 supply. No Coil Nova going on the Panda, but there is the greater heal potion, so that one should be just fine, and that's exactly what's happening. Another Dryad killed, maybe the Force Destroyed Berserker could be killed as well. Alchemist actually got a heal scroll here, using that one immediately. He seems to be really afraid of those 2 towers, as well as the 2 heroes. There's 1 Nova remaining, 2 coils, so a bit of nuke. And SaSe just continues creeping. Yeah, it's not like there's anything Giacomo can do about it at the moment. Maybe he can try and do the last hit on the creep, but actually Coil Nova goes onto the Force Destroyed Berserker. That means the Sasquatch can be finished by SaSe. Wand of Illusion for him, well, looks like he's gonna keep it for now. Still only 2-1 upgrades, only, you know, in quotation marks, against 0-0. Oh, and it looks like he just waited for the Ancient of War, and now he's probably gonna go in for the big push. Panda is coming in. Let's see, does Giacomo realize it? Probably he does realize, since he sees the other Panda right there. He's moving in right now. First of the gargoyles going down, level 5 for the Alchemist. Second gargoyle going down as well. Actually, the Illusion has taken plenty of damage already. Now he's going for the DK staff used to the back. Is he gonna survive? He survives, at least for now. Breath of Fire hitting pretty nicely both the towers, the majority of the Acolytes. New gargoyles joining the fight, but they immediately have to pull back. A couple of gargoyles have gone down in the meantime as well. I mean, of course, they take tons of damage against the piercing of the spirit towers. But at the same time, Giacomo is pretty much out of mana. There's only one Nova remaining, one coil remaining right now as well. The Panda's taking a bit of damage. There is actually a heal scroll as well as an invul potion on the Alchemist. And is he even gonna hold here for now? Invul potion passed, and he's waiting very long with the use of that. Just long enough for the DK to stay in there greedily and to get killed, while the Panda can just easily run away. Lich is probably gonna fall next. No, it is not, because Giacomo is leaving the game before that happens. And kinda like, well, not really, but a little bit like on Turtle Rock against Nightwolf, Giacomo loses this game after going for the expansion in addition with his gargoyle play. This time SaSe, you know, on the contrary to Nightwolf, did go for his own very early expansion, so maybe Giacomo's call this time made a little bit more sense, but SaSe was able to delay that by so much just with that Wisp detonate. And while I said it didn't cost him a lot of resources, it definitely cost Giacomo quite some time, because, you know, he moved the Acolyte out and then the AP was coming, and SaSe's expansion was just running for such a long time already once Giacomo got his expansion up. And, you know, Giacomo barely held the first push. But SaSe was just able to produce so much behind that, whereas Giacomo, you know, didn't have the resources yet to get a big army back, to get scrolls and everything he needed against this combo, which of course provided a lot of AoE damage for SaSe. So SaSe takes the 1-0 lead. Second map is going to be Knollwood.